I'm Rob. I'm a farm manager at Hampton Oyster Company.
And I'm Joe Fenora, co-founder of Hampton Oyster Company, and we're here today at the end of Little Creek in Cutchogue, just inside about half a mile from our farm in Little Peconic Bay. So I grew up in Laurel. I went to Mattatuck High School, and my brother and I wrapped up college, and we're looking for a way to have our own small business and make a living out here. And a friend of ours had actually gotten into oyster farming, and we thought this is sort of a new industry. Nobody really knows their way around, but it's a rare combination where you can be in a profitable business, but also impact a positive change to your environment. Oyster farming is the most environmentally friendly and most sustainable form of protein production. Shellfish farming, that is, most sustainable form of protein production, period, known to man on the planet. And so we thought if there was ever a business to invest in and try and grow, it's the kind where you can make a living, you can spend time outside, and you can actually do good for your environment. And so out here, you know, there's a long history of agriculture, but there's not much in the way of aquaculture. And so growing up out here, we spent a lot of time on the water, and intimately knew the nooks and crannies of the bay. We're really lucky to grow up like that. And so we took a chance and got started in aqua farming. It takes about 2 to 3 years before you, from the day that you put stuff in the water to the day you make your first buck, or you have market product, simply because you have to grow it. And that's if nothing goes wrong. It comes usually about the size of a fingernail, and over the course of 18 to 24 months, that particular oyster seed, that shell that's the size of a fingernail, will turn into something that's about 3 inches long. And so all of that growth, or the majority of it's concentrated in the summertime. And when we put that seed in our bags, in our cages, we have to be really mindful of the volume, because it changes so quickly. We start with a batch of seed that fits in a shoebox, and when all that becomes finally market sized, it would probably not fit into a dump truck. And that happens over a couple of months, and like I say, concentrated in the summer when there's the most growth. So we constantly stock our bags and restock our bags based off of the density, so how much is in here. So right here you'll see this bag is about a third or a quarter full. So when we put seed in, we'd only fill it up over here, because in a couple of weeks it's going to grow and fill up. Some of these other bags, they're a little bit more full, and that's pretty much right on the money. We want to not really exceed too much in a given bag, because we want them to have the space to move and breathe and eat and feed. And so managing how crowded they are has a big impact on the quality of the product at the end of the season. So this machine here is called a tumbler, and it's very similar in function to, say, like a trommel. And the whole premise is that we rotate this drum, and we change the hole sizes that are in the drum, and as a result, when the product passes through, it grades by size. So smaller hole sizes here, bigger hole sizes there, and whatever's biggest will come through all the way at the end. And this particular one is set up for pulling out market size products, so we don't have to hand sort. That's about as fast as it can get. The growing season is typically for us between May and October, and that's when things get busiest. But like all types of farming, we're really subject to Mother Nature, and sometimes she'll throw curveballs at us that we don't expect, and there's a lot of this business that's just out of our control, and that really makes our growing season the most challenging, trying to pivot around things that we didn't expect or can't do much about. One of the bigger challenges in our growing season is that it coincides with peak tourist season, and in our area we compete with access to the waterfront and for access to working waterfront to get to the bays. The beaches and waterfront homeowners are increasingly competing for limited resource, limited space, and long having the opportunity to keep our boats and stage equipment and get to our farm with sort of a decreasing amount of shoreline available to us. I learned about the Peconic Land Trust through a friend, another farmer who had advised me about all of the benefits and the mission of the Land Trust, trying to help preserve space, but also preserve a culture and a way of life to the North and South Forks. And a simple phone call got me connected, and we've been the beneficiaries of a number of programs through the Land Trust. A couple of grants that have helped us purchase equipment, a couple of grants that have helped us purchase safety-related equipment, and we're tenants at two different Peconic Land Trust facilities. One that's on the water, preserved working waterfront, and one that's also an upland facility for us, where we can use some space for working on machinery and preparing equipment and whatnot. What I think is most applicable with this business, and what makes it local, is how authentic it is. We purchase our seed from a hatchery in Southold. We sell our product to restaurants and wholesalers on the North and South Fork, and we grow it right here in Peconic Bay. There's very few businesses, I think, that really rely on their community from start to finish to produce a healthy and environmentally beneficial product.
Nothing really better than that. It's hard work. It's, you feel like at the end of the day, you feel like you really did something that day. It's very worthwhile.
Any folks interested in learning more about our operation and seeing the nuts and bolts and the day-to-day can check out our Instagram at Hampton Oyster Co. and our website www.hamptonoysterco.com.